man, that card.
Alright team, that Bioshock game did numbers. People really seem to enjoy the creative city, fun powers, and unique exploration of an ideology. We might even make money with an immersive sim. Any ideas for our next game?
How about instead of being underwater, it's like in the sky, man?
Great. Now, who lives in this sky city? Preferably someone okay to shoot at. How about racists? Good man, Jenkins. Now, we don't want to get too political. Let's give them some opposition. How about the Irish? I like how you think. Now, remember those good games we made? They sold like shit. So we're gonna do the exact opposite this time. Inventory management? Too confusing. 2 weapon limit. RPG mechanics? That's old news. These days, it's all about those RPG elements. Open-ended level design? Put the player on a literal rail. Sir, I think we forgot about the powers. Oh yeah, what if the sky racists make mug root beer as a symbol of their racial superiority, which also perfectly symbolizes the inherent hypocrisy of their ideology? You're fucking weird, dude. In Bioshock Conversion Therapy, you play as the White One in his quest to end racism by flying to Yakubian Zion, kidnapping a white girl, and engaging in equal opportunity genocide. Bioshock the Irish features an arsenal of quirked up white boy weaponry, a felony quantity of bathwater pervitin, and the catalyst for a massive leap forward in computer graphics technology. So, let's just dive right in, shall we? Oh god, these controls suck. To the PC Gaming Wiki! Man, this looks annoying. Oh hey look, I'm playing with the Modern Warfare mod, which fixes the dogshit controls, depth of field, and field of view, but it also adds Call of Duty hit sounds and health regeneration for some reason? Once you turn that shit off, the controls are better, but not entirely fixed. I guess good controls and tight gunplay were just beyond the reach of technology at the time. Thankfully, the generous souls at 2K have used the powers of modern technology to ruin their own fucking game. Oh, you don't remember buying this DLC? Well, you're not leaving until you take every single pace-breaking upgrade in this room. Why? The one thing we don't have to fix is the graphics. This is an Unreal 3 game and it looks great. A little dated nowadays, but it's got a neat little trick up its sleeve. Do you see it? That's right, color. I do not miss gaming's antidepressant era commercial. Ask your doctor if Prozac is right for you. Then ask him to turn down the fucking bloom. As a Bioshock sequel, Infinite makes a decent first impression by keeping the basic formula and adding onto it over time. First, the skyhook. Yeah, this is before Doom made takedowns cool again. Its main function is mobility. The city of Columbia, is filled with skylines and skyhooks, sending you sky high so you don't die while you kill a guy.
What did you just say?
Wow, what a great tool. It's almost like it creatively leverages the sky setting to create unique arenas and fast-paced gunfights. Let's see how the level designers use it. This is gonna be a theme, isn't it? Oh man, free shit! Yeah, it's gonna be a theme. These are just 4 slightly different stun effects. The fireball does a bit of AoE damage, but I've got shoes that do this. The rest are fine. Charge is good for mobility, mind control is useful but expensive, and shield trivializes the late game.
Hold to absorb damage, and release to throw it back.
End of the day, it's fun enough to run around styling on people, but it's odd that the core gimmick of the series is so limp. The real gimmick is the woman.
Whoa!
Alright, I've got this new game idea, so it's like our other games and you have to rescue a princess, but she won't just be another damsel in distress, she'll be her own character who accompanies you throughout the entire game. Aren't AI companions awful? Yes, we will need to divert critical resources from other areas of the game just to get it right. So, you can either make the game good, or you can get Elizabeth right. Yes. Problem number 1 with AI companions. They are borderline suicidal. Elizabeth will seek cover and cannot be killed. Problem number 2. They're fucking useless. Elizabeth will scavenge around for supplies, keeping you topped off so you can keep up the fight. Problem number 3, contextual combat abilities usually suck. Like, you're already looking at the bad guy, why not just pull the trigger? Elizabeth does not compete with your murder tools. Instead, she provides utility via her interdimensional superpowers. You'll often see small tears in the fabric of reality. Elizabeth can rip these open to spawn in skyhooks, supplies, stationary hazards, or mobile hazards. I have a soft spot for battle buddies in games like this, and Elizabeth is one of the best.
Take this!
Thanks.
Father Comstock, commander of the 7th Cavalry.
Oh, you fucking pig! Out of combat, Elizabeth can find lockpicks, pick locks, and materialize money from the ether.
You hold on to this.
When she's not busy, she Okay, that's a stretch. Really, she just pretends to be busy so she doesn't look like this. It's the same shit Bethesda games do, but it works here. She actually feels like a distinct character instead of some random NPC companion. She spent her entire life locked in a tower, and this is her chance to finally see the world. It's adorable. She's adorable. I love her. Yeah, I know. We'll get to that. Great work, guys. Elizabeth slots perfectly into the Bioshock formula, creating a fast-paced, high-flying, highfalutin adventure. Now we can get back to work making levels and mechanics that reward creative players. Hey, look, I made this little gadget that's activated by the lightning power. That's great. We can put that in our toolkit for future levels. Maybe we can even come up with more non-combat uses for the powers. Like this upgrade. Maybe the player can open the gate with lightning, melt the bars with a fireball, or even grab the upgrade with water. I'm so excited. We've got a strong foundation for infinite emergent gameplay possibilities. Let me just double check that we didn't run out of budget. About 3 hours in, the game just gives up. You get lightning powers, there's a few contraptions it activates, you're like, that's cool, then it's just done. No more. Greg put all that work into that little doohickey, and it's in the game 3 times. Here's a crouch tutorial. Occasionally it'll feel like they wanted to try, like maybe you could put out this fire with your water powers and get into the building. But no, from here on out, it's just Elizabeth, your crappy guns, and lackluster powers. It's decently fun, but what really irks me, what grinds my gears, what's shitting in my cereal is that it's still pretending it's a shock game, that it's part of the ImSim club.
Are you trying to get us both arrested?
Stay out of the ladies' room, Denton. Yeah, I wonder why they put that in Deus Ex. Maybe it reminds the player that the game knows what they're up to, and that their actions may have consequences. When your game has no consequences because the bad guys are all irredeemable racists and Irish quote-unquote people, it goes from a cute little nod to a hollow reference to a better game. What really got me was 0451. It's the first keypad code in most immersive sims, starting with System Shock. You're usually free to guess the combination, subvert it with your hacking skills, or just find the passcode. It's a subtle promise to the player that there are multiple approaches for most obstacles. A nice little lesson at the beginning of the game. So when I saw a keypad 5 hours into the game, and the code was right next to it, it destroyed me. This is 0451, I'm gonna scream. Ah! Okay, we're talking a lot about other games, so I've got to clear this up. You might have heard someone call this a good game, just not a good Bioshock game. I disagree. Infinite fails at most of what it's trying to do on its own. It's just especially incompetent when compared to Bioshock. They're aping their own game without any understanding of why it was like that. They didn't just make the powers so you'd have a worse alternative to clicking on people. It had a survival horror thing going on. You had limited resources, but a good use of your powers would help conserve ammo. Here I'm never like, oh no, I'm low on ammo, whatever shall I do? It's just, fuck, now I have to use a less fun weapon for a bit. If you want to ditch the survival horror and go more of an action route, great news! Bioshock 2 provides the perfect blueprint for that. But I get it. Games I like don't sell. Therefore, games I don't like sell. If you remove every single thing I like about immersive sims, you end up with another genre that I also love. Brainless shooters. That's what I planned making this video about. Like, yeah, it's a really fun brainless shooter. It's extremely dumbed down for console players and a bit heavy-handed with its racist bad guys, but still, fun little romp. Then I replayed it for the video. This is me, 10 years ago. I was clearly not paying attention back then because this game's writing is fucking insane. It's like writing the beginning of a good essay, only to realize everything you're writing about is really complicated and you are so ungodly in over your head. Here we've got hilarious satire, pretentious quantum theory wank, standard 2010s pointless moral dilemmas, and utterly bungled political commentary, all in a game that was hailed as a pinnacle of storytelling for the medium. Let's start with positives. positives first. This era of games was toying with the illusion of choice. It's expensive to let the player truly affect the flow of events, but with clever writing, you can create choices that change how the player feels about those events. For example, here you're trying to get some airship tickets, but the guy is being sus. You can either draw first, which I couldn't be fucked to get footage for, or you can wait and see what—
What are you doing? Get the girl! Stay away from me!
This is a great moment. It's too expensive to let the player actually affect the flow of events, so this choice is really about how Elizabeth sees you and what lessons she takes away from it all. She can either see suspicion being rewarded or trust being punished. And to top it all off, the bandage from getting stabbed stays with you for the rest of the game, serving as a nice reminder of this little moment. Elizabeth spent her entire life sheltered and isolated. It's a great setup to have the player be the one who helps her through these hard lessons and tough choices. So, what choices do we make? Well, first we pick a necklace, then we choose whether to kill this guy who asked us to kill him. I've killed people who didn't ask, so I just spared him for maximum chaos. It does not matter. I just domed him later in the game. How does Elizabeth react?
I suppose that was what he wanted.
Oh hey, that's the exact same voice line for killing him the first time. Because Ken Levine is a pretentious whack job, this game features two big physics concepts: quantum locking and many worlds. Quantum locking is this: it's magnets and superconductors. Many worlds, as previously discussed on this channel, is the mathematical basis for multiverses. Neither of these are hard concepts, but they think they are so fucking clever with it, and that you are just far too stupid to understand.
In the other world, this whole business makes my head hurt.
You are not allowed to be this pretentious when you have less nuance than fucking Rick and Morty. The first third of this game is genuinely incredible satire, where Rapture asked,
"Is a man not entitled to the sweat of his brow?"
and ran from there. Columbia asks, what if racism is good, actually?
Was yellow skin and slanted eyes that did betray us with their lies.
And runs from there. The prosperity and lavish lifestyles of the Gilded Age were only possible via a mass exploitation of working class minorities. Columbia is a society that sees this not as a trade-off, but a win-win. A city where blending in means participating in a lynching. Lost Cause revisionists would be the moderates here, because what do they need to revise? They proudly believe that God created each race with a purpose. Subordination to the superior race is the natural order of things, and that slaves should be free. Not freed, free. There is no apologist shit like, oh, George Washington owned slaves, but he didn't like slavery, he just inherited them. No, they're like, fuck yeah, he owns slaves. In fact, let's make him a giant mech with a fucking minigun.
Reap what you sow!
Did Washington reap or sow? Of course not. That's what the slaves were for. I feel like there are some valid criticisms of Lincoln out there. You know, maybe he could have handled the secession better, and he definitely violated civil liberties, but so did like every other wartime president ever. Overall, I'd say he had a positive effect on the nation. I certainly wouldn't depict him as a literal demon and canonize John Wilkes Booth. This is my favorite one by far. I want this painting in real life. It is hilarious. The city is also a theocratic dictatorship run by a literal time traveler who can actually literally see the future, but that's not important right now because it's stupid. Small problem, this is a paradise. If your message is, this is bad, you should really show it collapsing due to its own faults. You know, Rapture fell because a lack of regulation led to superpowered crackheads. It was like a statement, commentary on where an ANCAP society might end up. Columbia falls because this 6'1" specimen of the white race starts murdering everyone. I mean, it's ironic, sure, but it's never framed as a good thing. In fact, it's kind of framed as a bad thing. So we use some multiverse shenanigans to go to a universe where the police are less brutal, the people less segregated, and because the regime is less oppressive, a revolution is actually able to get off the ground. So the evil society that deserves to fall apart is falling apart. Except the subtext, you know, the tone, dialogue, sound, music, etc. all imply that this is the bad dimension, and this is our fault. Huh? If you get a quest to give someone guns and you hop to a reality where they already have them, you haven't finished the quest. But the game still thinks you can get an airship in exchange for some guns. You know, these guns. The guns she already has. Fitzroy's guns.
There's going to be a revolution just like Les Miserables. These people are gonna have better lives.
Yeah.
This revolution has all the hallmarks of a good old people's uprising. Extremely violent? Check. Purging the previous upper class? Check. Genociding white children? Check. Huh? Scalping their former oppressors? I'm sorry, what? Pole potting people? Check. Huh? Okay. Maybe they're trying to make a point about how, like, historical revolutions often have a reign of terror that just leaves people worse off. Let's see what the game has to say for itself.
They're just right for each other, aren't they?
Who?
Fitzroy and Comstock.
What? I'm sorry, you cannot depict the evil racist society and the revolution that arose as a reaction to that society as two sides of the same coin. Because then your message goes from racism is bad to racism is good, actually. It's like how actual racists see the Haitian slave revolt. They see an overly violent regime and an overly violent revolt and go, oh, that's bad. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just stayed enslaved. Civilized racists wouldn't need to resort to violence. Personally, I think those dirty Frenchmen got what they fucking deserved. Does the game ever address this? No! Tonight on Bomb Gear Infinite, I murder some minorities and dab on their newly orphaned child. Elizabeth upholds the 14 words and I go to prison for copyright violation. I didn't edit that, by the way. Why are these in the game? There's a ghost. That was pretty stupid. Elizabeth can time travel now. That was really stupid. They also have the worst jump scare ever.
Why? What is the point of that? Oh, that didn't even scare me. I just got really confused for a second.
The game will get even stupider because we're about to see Infinite's take on Bioshock's best story beat. In Bioshock, when you meet the founder of the city, he reveals that you're being mind controlled and proves his point by having you beat him to death while he repeats his iconic line.
Juices are obey!
It's a cute little commentary on player agency and a nice plot twist. In this game, Comstock's like, hey, what up? You did something bad to Elizabeth that messed up her finger. Nuh-uh. Fuck you mean, nuh-uh?
Tell me nothing is finished!
You killed him. What did he mean? Huh? You tell me, what did he mean about my finger?
Bitch, what? This isn't our dimension. That's like getting mad at someone for a dream you had. Woman moment. This is one of the dumbest game endings ever. Are you ready? Okay, so you blow up the tower, which gives Elizabeth infinite power. So she opens up a portal into a good game to explain that there are infinite universes. Duh? But also that Comstock is actually just Booker in the future, which is stupid in its own right, but it also retroactively undermines the satire from before. Theocratic dictatorships are pretty bad since they're based on lies and brainwashing, unless your leader is an actual time traveler who can actually see the fucking future. Then your message goes from, this city is racist and that's bad, to this city is racist and that's a good thing. But the game doesn't care about this. It's too concerned with how there are infinite universes, so there are infinite Bookers, and therefore infinite Comstock, so the only solution is... Yeah, that was the mod's fault, but it was too good to pass up. So, how do you stop Comstock once and for all? You kill yourself. Huh? What about the infinite universes where you don't kill yourself? How the fuck does this solve anything? The ending also feels like a setup for a whole host of wacky sequels. You can make so much fun stuff with different permutations of weird city location, flawed societal structure, and period futurist aesthetic. Like here, I'll just spitball. Afrofuturist moon monarchy, Pirates of the Caribbean, but with underground drill dozers, the Holy Robot Empire, which is, of course, neither holy, nor a robot, nor an empire. If you just show all the infinite possibilities afforded to you by this premise, I'd be on board. But no, they just go back to fucking Rapture again, which makes it hard. And by it, I mean my penis. Yeah, I have to bring this up. I've been alluding to it, but if you're not aware, here's what Googling Elizabeth looks like.
There's so much porn!
It's like coming across a picture of your daughter. I die a little inside with every page view. I can sympathize with that, but I mean like, my brother in Christ, you made her a femme fatale. You would have to strap my nutsack to a Saturn V to get me to pull out of that. And you know what? This is what you deserve. This is karma. This is the Imsim curse reminding you that there is no escape. Because yeah, the game sold. It was praised both by critics and audiences, widely regarded as one of the best games of all time. And yet, 10 years later, the only long-lasting cultural impact it had was the thousands upon thousands of artists who saw Elizabeth, the symbol of everything this game stands for, the symbol of all your hard work, and thought, I should draw her giving birth. So that was Bioshock Infinite. It knocks one element completely out of the park. Elizabeth is a joy to play alongside with, and I don't think I've seen anything like it since. Apart from that one Skyrim mod, I guess. The two things that usually make or break a game like this for me is how much it respects my time and how much context you get for gunfights. This game wastes too much time to warrant a replay, and every fight is just, oh no, bad guys. However, I was having a blast.
I legit thought that said fornicator.
I was grinning ear to ear, laughing with every single stupid design decision, insane satire piece, and batshit story beat.
Elizabeth, why is your mother a ghost?
What?
She's not.
At the end of the day, this isn't a bad game or a bad experience. It's like watching a competent artist drop his paint and seeing the spilled ink blot spell out a slur. I'm gonna laugh my ass off, but I know it doesn't mean anything. Oh wait, I forgot about the part where everyone calls it the next Mona Lisa and fucking nobody talks about the giant right there in the middle.